So I thought the best way to jump into my February creative update would be to share my creative life hub inside of Trello, and we can check off my progress together. So I'm going to open up the February card here, and you can see here are my priorities at the bottom. So my 100 layouts for the year goal, of that I wanted to do 9 this year, and I actually did 4, but I feel good about that. And then so we'll still check that off because I made progress. I completed my one little word assignment for the month, and I stayed up to date with my Project Life photo book pages. What I didn't do is I didn't complete the self-love prompts in my daily project, and I will share a little bit more about that as we go in. I am absolutely loving Trello for really staying focused on what's important to me and know what is on my plate this month, and I'm able to really track my progress. So it's been so fun. The layouts this month were all 8.5 by 11 double page spreads. I was actually a Cocoa Daisy guest designer this month, and so these are all featuring their treetop canopy collection. So this first one is full page photo on the left with a few transparent embellishments, and then this fun grid design with the hybrid journaling on the right. This one is probably the most simple, but I think my favorite because I've been looking for a strategy to use up more of my journaling cards. And so this was really fun to create a grid design on the cardstock and do this kind of wonky border around it to just give it some cohesiveness. And then, of course, a little bit of embellishment with the stamps. I've got one chipboard piece here. And then I also really liked this. I did a light pink background to my journaling to just give it kind of an effect of being part of the grid. I could have done the white, but I think it really would have been less kind of cohesive that way. So this was really fun, and I can see doing that again for sure. All right, this one probably took the most time just because I did a very gentle mixed media background and I was playing around with some cut files, tried a few different permutations to figure out what I wanted here. But I really enjoyed throughout this process just playing with more embellishments on the page. And you saw that a little bit in the first layout with the hybrid grid, and then you'll see that on the next one as well. And I like throughout all my pages just a nice contrast between, one slight style deviation on one side. So this is a little bit more abstract mixed media fun, and this is definitely more minimalist and constrained. And then this is kind of the most traditional of the two because we have kind of the 2-page concept really spanning the pages. And I really went all out with kind of planning the structure, choosing all the different embellishments, and I actually have 10 photos here. So this one was really, really fun to put together. And I don't remember the last time that I did like pattern paper spanning both pages, but I really like how it came together, and I think I'd like to do that again. So those were my 4 for February. I will admit that for my one little word, I procrastinated until the very end of the month because I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to tackle the vision board, the collaging, because I had just decluttered almost every single magazine in our entire house. So I knew for sure that I wanted to have a kind of a journaling page where I reflected on kind of these 3 categories. So as a reminder, my word is strong, and I want to kind of illustrate my strength through greater resilience. I want to have strong relationships and a stronger body. And so I journaled there in a similar way to last time as well, using that same fabric tag. And so I think I'll be doing that every single month. And then for my collage, I'm so proud of this. Had so much fun. I had been reorganizing all of my die cuts. And so as I did that, I started pulling out ones that really reflected both, where I'm at right now and where I'd like to be. And I said this in my Instagram recording about this as well, that this is not quite as aspirational as you might get with magazine items. This is a little bit more realistic, kind of values focused, but I really like how it helped me feel centered and grounded in things that I love, not just concepts that I love, but of course just the playfulness of doing this with my scrapbook supplies really just underscored how important that is. And then I made this accompanying page. This particular piece here, this is a digital word art file that I cut out 5 times on my silhouette and then adhered back to back to make it appear more dimensional. So that was really fun. And of course, we have this detail that crossed the pages. And in the end, I'm so happy with how I did it. And it's a little bit different. I have done kind of scrappy vision boards before. And it's just a little bit of a different way to approach it. So looking forward to jumping into March with this, but I feel good that I'm keeping up with the project. So the journaling aspects of my routines that really went quite well for me in January didn't go as well in February. So there's a little bit of success and a little bit of non-success here. And I think my realization is that February is that test of how well did you cement new habits in January? Did it really become part of your life, or did you manage to keep it up and then February provided new opportunities, new freedoms, new ideas, and you realized it wasn't quite as strong as you thought? And so there's some of both of that here. So we'll start here in the planner, and I don't even know for sure, the journaling in the February part of the month. I need to catch up on this. So I am behind. I did a little bit at the beginning of the month. And of course, we've got all decorated with stickers, but I didn't really ever kind of do the reflection. I typically kind of once a week will go in and fill in some spots. So I did not keep up with that. Journaling in the back. So let's see, where's February start? So February started here. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. So it's not bad. And you can see I started just adding all the numbers here to catch up because I had a huge gap in the middle of the month. A couple observations. This one doesn't count because this is March. So we have 3. I do really enjoy this. I find this something that I really need. I have kind of an alternating perspective on sometimes I really need it more in the morning to kind of set a course for the day, and sometimes I need it more in the evening to let go and relax and unwind. And so I've kind of given myself more permission to not just make this an evening thing, but thing of when I want it and when I most need it. And I hope to lean on it more for that. So I haven't quite found a new groove yet or have decided if I really want one, but I love the process. Sometimes when I'm doing longer journaling, it feels a little bit small and cramped. My hand starts to hurt a little bit. So I have, to be honest, dreamt a little bit about the larger size Hobonichi just for journaling. I'm going to stick this out because I did buy this larger one. I'm going to stick this out for this year. But I think in the future, I think I'd like something a little bit bigger to allow my hand more space. The stickers are still going well. I love them. And overall, I'm happy with this. I just didn't have the same kind of consistency that I did in January. And then when it comes to the daily pages part, this is where that proof of habit thing comes in. So when you have a habit, you can't suddenly change the habit and expect it to not come without hiccups. So if you recall, in January, the objective was to complete 1 page in a traveler's notebook per day. It could be as simple as putting a mark on the page. I just had to do something. That was the only expectation. Well, for February, I thought it would be so fun to participate in this self-love daily challenge. And so I printed out all the prompts and I got started. And I left some spaces. Look, I stamped. Yeah, I used a colored ink. And then I did a couple pages in here, and I didn't even do these in order. I was just kind of picking the prompts that resonated in the moment. I felt a little perfectionism coming up during this for sure. I was using some of these journaling cards, and so I used a ruler for my journaling because there was a lot of blank spaces. I do enjoy that, and I find it helps with some of my handwriting anxiety, but I also felt like I brought some more precision and perfectionism to the parts of this that I did do. Let me see if there's anything else in here. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it was just a few times I dabbled in. I really like these prompts. I want to finish the project. It didn't quite work for me to make it a daily thing, and I think that's because I wasn't in the habit of taking a prompt and responding to it. My habit was show up, do whatever you want. And so I think I learned a lot about myself and habits from that. And I'm still for March kind of letting go a little bit. And when I check back at the end of March, I'll let you know kind of what I've decided about how I want to approach this part of my creative routines in general. I am so continuing to love using Lightroom for my Project Life photo book. I've got a great system down for managing my photos every single week and popping in here and doing a few pages. I was particularly excited when Allie Edwards released her new 12x12 scrapbooking kit because I wanted some of those digital papers to include in my book as well. And so I'll be using those papers throughout the book. I'll use the first collection, the Hearts theme collection, for about 3 months. And then I will continue to add those throughout the year as she releases the subsequent collection. So that's really fun. Of course, there's many other options for digital papers, but because I am using her word art throughout the book, I just really wanted that kind of consistent look and feel. I'm just kind of going all in on one design direction in these books. So let's just flip up to the 2-page view here. This is the beginning of February, so we just keep jumping through. Some of these photos, we got the resolution coming in there for you. It is very photo heavy with blocks of journaling. I'm loving my kind of typewriter fonts, that Remington Noiseless, and I use that throughout all of my layouts and here in my photo book. I included Christopher Plummer here with the lyrics to Edelweiss just because that's one of the most treasured movies from my growing up. Of course, I had to make the viral feta pasta. I actually made it a few times. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. So I'm loving this project so much. I can do a little bit of journaling or I can do a lot. There's plenty of space. And it's really just helping me stay in touch with my memories, my feelings, my photos, and really supports even the rest of my scrapbooking because I can very quickly then identify the other layouts that I want to make. And I just feel more on top of my photo library and my memory keeping in general because of this process. So you can see I have both text on white as well as text over photos in this. I think this is the end of the month here. And then this fun little, I do a little bit of coding as part of my job. And my daughter has this tradition called proper cuddles. Like not just cuddles, but proper cuddles. And so if you're a CSS nerd, you'll be able to understand what this means. And so I had to include that in there as well. And then we're on to March. So if we go back to the full page view, including some of the things that I've set up for the year, we're at 70 pages. and it's going to be up to 240. So I feel good overall. February went from page 33 to 55, so about 22, 21 pages there. That's about what I'm going to be looking for each month. So I will continue to update you on this process. And as I mentioned, I am working really hard on my 2020 book to get that done so I can share it with you all in a YouTube video as well. All right, and now to conclude, let's review what I want to do for March. So of the 100 layout goal, I want to do 8 layouts this month. And sneak peek, I've actually already done 2 at the time of this recording. I want to, of course, complete my one little word prompt for March. I'm actually practicing using the Calm app this month. I want to complete my Project Life photo book pages. And I have a goal of finishing my 2020 Project Life book as well. I really want to get this done and printed. And I had to make sure I added it to my priority list so that I felt that permission to work on it. Because it wasn't on my list at the beginning of the year, and it kept nagging at me. And I finally realized I have to put it on the list so that I feel like, okay, this is what I'm working on, and I can move forward with that. And it has really, really helped. All right, that concludes my creative update for February. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you back here again next month.